My name is Maya, and for the longest time, I hated Aiden Lancaster. He was the golden boy of West Hill High, perfect hair, charming smile, and captain of everything. Also, a total jerk to me. For years, he made fun of my clothes, my quiet voice, even the books I carried. It wasn't even creative bullying, just relentless teasing that made me want to disappear. So one night I snapped. I wrote a fake love letter. Something silly, mysterious, just enough to mess with his oversized ego. I even sprayed perfume on it, cliché I know. Then I slipped it into his locker and waited. I thought he'd laugh, make a joke about it to his friends. But he didn't. The next day, he smiled, like really smiled, and not in his usual smug way. He looked kind of touched. I should have stopped there, but I didn't. I sent another letter, then another, each one a little more personal, a little more honest, even though it all started as a prank. Then something really weird happened. He changed. Aiden stopped making fun of me. He held the door open, asked how my day was, and his eyes, they were searching for someone. Someone who wasn't me but somehow was. That's when I realized I was falling for the boy I'd sworn to destroy. By the time I sent the fifth letter, I started spending actual time writing them. Not just jokes or riddles anymore. I was pouring parts of myself into them. I noticed how you chew your pen when you're nervous. I wonder if you ever get tired of pretending you're okay. Who was I becoming? Meanwhile, Aiden had changed too. He started bringing a second juice box to class, just in case someone might be thirsty. He stopped sitting with his perfect crowd in the cafeteria, and once he even sat across from me. Me. No teasing, no smugness, just a quiet, thoughtful hey. I nearly choked on my pasta. I told myself it was just guilt. Guilt for leading him on, for watching him open up and be sweet. All because of a lie. But the truth? I didn't feel guilty. I felt seen. And worst of all, I didn't want to stop. I thought I could keep both lives separate. The anonymous letters and real-life Maya. But like all lies, it started to bleed. One afternoon, Aiden slipped a note into my locker. Not the pink envelope, not the special box. My actual locker. It read, "You remind me of someone. Someone I wish I knew better." My heart dropped. He was connecting the dots. Every clever phrase I thought was subtle. Every secret detail I thought no one would notice. And the worst part, I didn't stop him. I started smiling at him in the hallways. Started sitting closer in class. Started falling for him, not as a character in a game, but as the boy who saw me, even when I was hiding. But the clock was ticking, because the spring dance was coming up, and rumor had it, Aiden was planning something big. The day of the spring dance arrived, and I swear, the whole school was buzzing like it was prom night. I told myself I wouldn't go. Too risky. Too exposed. But around 5 p.m., I got a message in my secret inbox. One I never expected. Meet me at the bleachers. 7:30, I know. No name. No emojis. No doubt. My heart was racing. Did Aiden finally put it all together? Was he angry? Hurt? Worse, disappointed? I almost didn't go. I sat in my room, dress still hanging in the closet, shoes by the bed, hands shaking. But something pulled me there. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was hope. Or maybe I just couldn't lie anymore. When I arrived, the bleachers were empty, except for Aiden. He stood up slowly, holding a folded piece of pink paper in his hand. The exact kind I used. "Why didn't you just tell me?" he asked, voice soft. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. Because how do you explain falling in love with someone while pretending to be someone else? I finally found my voice. Because I didn't think you'd like the real me. Aiden didn't interrupt. He just listened, eyes locked on mine. I told him everything. The fake name, the made-up past, the teacher who helped me get a second chance after transferring mid-year. I just wanted a fresh start, I said. My reputation at my old school was bad, really bad, and I didn't want anyone to judge me before they knew me. For a second, he didn't say anything. Then, he let out a breath and handed me the pink envelope. "You forgot to read what you wrote me last time." I unfolded it slowly. It was the note I'd written weeks ago, the one where I almost confessed my feelings but chickened out halfway through. But something was different. At the bottom, his handwriting. "I liked you before the notes," it said. "And I still do now." My heart did this weird cartwheel. And in that moment, under those cheap string lights, I knew that maybe, just maybe, I could finally stop hiding. Word got out. I guess I should have known a secret that big wouldn't stay hidden for long. By Monday morning, everyone knew who I really was. That Maya Stark wasn't her real name. That I used to be someone else. Someone with a past. I could hear the whispers in the hallway. "She's a fake." Was this some kind of social experiment? How many other lies did she tell? Even people I thought were my friends looked at me like I'd grown a second head. I wanted to disappear. But then something happened I didn't expect. Mr. Rowe, my literature teacher, stopped me after class. He handed me a book I hadn't seen before. Inside the cover, he'd written a quote in neat, looping handwriting. "The truth will set you free, but first it will shatter you." "You're brave," he said, "and you're still writing your story." For the first time since the whole thing exploded, I didn't feel ashamed. I didn't hide the next day. No hoodie, no sunglasses, no sneaking into class late. I walked in with my head held high, and when someone asked, "So what's your real name anyway?" I smiled, and I said it, loudly, clearly. It's Maya, not the name I was born with, but the name I chose. Because for the first time in forever, I realized I wasn't defined by who I used to be, or what I was running from. I was who I decided to be. Some people still talked. Some walked away. But others, they came closer. One of them was Jasmine, the same girl who called me out that first week. She sat next to me at lunch and said, "Okay, Maya, you want to come with us to the movies this weekend?" And just like that, I wasn't alone anymore. Just when I thought things were finally settling, I got a letter. Not a text, not an email. A real, handwritten letter. From my birth mom. I hadn't heard from her in years. I thought she was gone for good, or just didn't care. But there it was, tucked inside an envelope with shaky handwriting and a return address from a rehab center across the state. "Dear Maya," it began, "or whatever name you go by now. I'm sorry." She explained everything. Why she left. How lost she was. How she'd watched my life from afar, even when I didn't know she was there. And how proud she was of me for building a life on my own. I sat on my bed, letter clutched in my hands, crying like I hadn't in years. For the first time, I forgave her. Not because she earned it, but because I needed to. And in that moment, I felt free. A week later, I visited her. The rehab center was small, quiet, clean. And there she was, older, thinner, eyes tired, but undeniably her. "Maya," she whispered, voice cracking like dry leaves. "I didn't think you'd come." I sat beside her, took her hand. "I almost didn't," I admitted. "But I figured we've both lost enough time already." We talked for hours, laughed, cried. She even brought out an old photo of me as a baby, one I'd never seen. For the first time, I didn't feel like someone broken trying to survive. I felt like someone becoming whole. Now, I still work my job. I still live in my tiny apartment. But every Sunday I visit her. And every time I leave, she tells me, "You turned out even better than I dreamed." So yeah, my life didn't start in a fairy tale. But maybe it's still becoming one. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ruby's Secret Files. We've got way more twists, tears, and triumphs where that came from. And hey, if Maya taught us anything, it's this. Sometimes, the best stories begin when you stop running from the past. Stick around. The next secret's already knocking.